Welcome to Jerseys for Social Justice, ETSU Athletics video series highlighting our black student athletes and coaches and their stories of being black in America. Today's guest is ETSU women's basketball junior forward Shynia Jackson, but much more than just an athlete is Shynia. Thanks so much for taking the time, Shynia, to speak on this incredibly important issue that we're talking about in this series.
You're right.
So, I like conversing with you on a day-to-day basis. When I get the chance to, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy you as a person and as a basketball player when you're out on the court. I want to open with a question that I don't feel we ask each other enough on a day-to-day basis, and especially considering the last couple of months and the issue we're talking about. How are you doing?
I'm good. You know, I take each day one at a time, take on the challenges. I try to attack the day and just not let it attack me. And with the things going on in the world, I pay attention to it, pray about it, talk to my parents, keep it moving, honestly.
I want to talk more about the current day that we're in just a bit, but I want to go back to the beginning. You're from Warner Robins, Georgia, pretty central Georgia, right in the middle of the state.
Oh, yeah.
What was it like growing up as a black woman in Warner Robins, Georgia?
I would say independence was a major key. I was led and taught by some great women, my mother, my grandmother, following them, following them in what they do, telling, the right things to do, the wrong things to do. But I just think that it's a lot of women in Warner Robins that have took a stand of like their career, their plan, whatever they have going, and they succeed in it. And I would say that my mom and my grandmother are two strong women that I look at, in that area as a black woman growing up in Warner Robins.
What did that strength mean to you to see that at such a young age? I think that can be part of the issue is there's not enough role models that are black and successful for the average black American growing up in this society. And it's one of the pitfalls and shortfalls that our society has. For you, was racism introduced to you at a young age, or because of that strength that they showed, did you not see that?
Well, I'll tell you a story. My grandfather has this little plantation thing that he owned and stuff, and he would tell me stories about, the things that they went through. My great-grandmother went through. My grandmother marched, but, she didn't, actually really suffer, from it. But, I mean, being in that moment, they have been great role models to me with dealing with it. We don't talk about it. That's not a topic that we just bring up. So, like, speaking on it when we do is real strong, and we mean every word we say. And, like, as far as leaders, you can be a leader. It don't matter what age. I mean, my parents, they've been telling me that for a while. I know my dad, he was in my life, but not too much. But, I mean, we're building that bond now. But he has always told me that I was born with the gift to lead. So me being a black woman, leading as being 20 now, I can imagine what I'll be doing at 25. You know what I'm saying? Just a small token just to take it and go. So, yeah.
Speaking of marching, you did some marching yourself this summer. I saw you attended a protest down in your hometown of Warner Robins. I attended some protests here as well, and all the protests I went to were peaceful. Many around the country, the vast majority were peaceful. Unfortunately, in my opinion, very unfortunate, that whoever decided to make a small percentage of the protests violent really has done a disservice, and maybe that was their goal, to the Black Lives Matter movement and what it truly stands for. To you, what does Black Lives Matter mean?
I'll tell you something else. My pastor, I would do church over the phone, he talked about that. And he spoke on it like, do we really know and like appreciate and accept what does Black Lives Matter mean? To me, as education, you know what I'm saying? Like, black lives are just not black lives. You know what I'm saying? We as a community tend to kill each other. And when that make, others look at us as if we're, like, how could you stand on something and you're the one doing it? But as a whole, we have to come together as a whole, to me, and like really stand on what Black Lives Matter mean. And I mean, it's just like, it's a lot to say, but I keep it simple. Like, it's just a lot. I mean, it's pretty tough, actually. Like, just seeing the black on black crimes. And that's when I start to question some of the people in the world. Do you know what Black Lives Matter mean? You can't be out here killing your brother and your sister. That's not what we're here for. So I just, like I say, I pray about it and leave it to God, because he's my only way.
You talked about being a leader, and you've been a leader on this in our community, which I've thought is fantastic, and I know that many have appreciated around campus. You made a video a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, put on the ETSU women's basketball account. Your whole team was behind you, a stand of unity. It was a beautiful thing, quite honestly. You wore a shirt that day that said equality. What was on your mind and your heart that day in that 30-second video when we're talking about equality? What was on your shirt? Social justice and the racism that too many in this country face.
I'll tell you something else. One quote that my high school coach, her name was Coach White, she wrote it on a piece of paper, but I had told her, I was like, you need to get this, hung up. Hardest thing in life to do is accept change. And change in this world right now, as we're in, is very hard to take on. You can't, social injustice is very unprivileged. You know what I'm saying? It's not a privilege. You know what I'm saying? People don't like to just not see justice be served. So as taking on that role as being a leader, that's why I do small things like this. Doing that video, it meant something to me. Because at that moment, I was telling my teammates, I was like, I don't have to be the only one to speak. You guys can speak too. You know what I'm saying? Anybody, and I will stand right behind you. That's why I wanted them behind me. Because I know that I have shoulders to lean on and not just stand by myself in the Black community as well.
What action needs to be taken? If there are people that are watching this, whether they're people that look like me, white people that want to be able to help, or people that maybe don't understand this issue that are having their eyes open, what needs to change? What is your message to them?
Stand on what you believe. Don't let anybody take your disbeliefs. I would say that you matter, but show that you matter. And that would be my message right there.
Incredibly thankful that you've come and done this. Shynia, thank you so much for the time and to just share your thoughts and experiences on what I know is a very difficult topic. You've talked to me about it before off air, and it incites a lot of emotions, but the fact that you've been able to capture that and put it on camera with us today means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.